Hello, welcome back. It's another Monday. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. All right, so as I tell you every week, but just in case you're new here, welcome to Fireside Chats with Kimberly. As you can see, I am not fireside as it's too warm here in New Jersey. But don't worry, the conversation will be just as cozy as if I were. Thank you to Orgain, the sponsor for this week's talks. Prize packs for this month's contest have been graciously donated by Hodo Foods, Crofters Organics, Follow Your Heart, Cinnaholic, Orgain, and Shrewmates, who is our newest monthly contest sponsor and donor. I invite my viewers to enter the monthly contest at virtualvegfest.com and click on the contest tab for details. Entering is super easy. Just by clicking and or subscribing to our social media and Virtual Veg Fest YouTube channel, you're entered to win one of 6 prize packs. We really want you to subscribe to the Virtual Veg Fest YouTube channel, so we are continuing to do 25 entries just for subscribing through the contest link. So welcome. Last week, I had asked if anyone was willing to test out a vegetable that they'd never tried before, that they hadn't made in a while. And I asked you to do something with it and then come back here tonight and let me know how'd it go. I volunteered kohlrabi because I had it in my fridge and I didn't get around to testing it out. So my apologies. So since I didn't do it, I can't expect that you did, but if you did, please let me know in the comments so I can cheer for you, because that's amazing. It's always so awesome to try new vegetables and see what fun things we can do and accomplish in the kitchen. If you weren't here last week and you don't have anything to contribute that way, that's okay too. Let me know where you're watching from. I love to see where you're all checking in from. All right, so while I give you some time to do that, to let me know where you're at, tonight we're talking about self-care and self-love. And why is that important when we're talking about veganism? Well, it's super important because it can be really upsetting and difficult as we start to learn the reasons why people go vegan. A lot of people go vegan, and it's different from plant-based, right? So people who are plant-based, that's really focused on their diet and very often is just about health, and that's great. Veganism is all encompassing, all the decisions you make every single day. And as you learn how animals are used for our convenience, that can be hard. So while self-care is important for all of us, and I encourage everyone to engage in self-care, that's why I want to talk about it tonight, because it can be so difficult. And we want to make sure that we are showing our best self, that we're being our best self as we share a vegan message, or even just to be the best us we can be, right? Welcome, Diane. So Diane's checking in from Edison, New Jersey. Thanks for being here tonight. All right, so first, I want to talk about kind of my process of self-care, and it has developed, and while I talk, feel free to post in the comments what you do for self-care. I'd love to hear what your process is, and of course, if you have any questions about self-care, or if you're looking for suggestions, I'm certainly going to offer some of those. But if you have questions, you want to tell me about your process, or if you have other questions, always looking, I'm always here to answer any questions about the vegan lifestyle. So if you don't have a question about what we're talking about in this moment, that's okay. Post it anyway, and I'll address it. Evan, you are so right. So Evan says self-care is so important. It can be hard when we're trying to help the animals. Absolutely. But that's what makes it so important, right? Because if we are burning out, that's one less person who's advocating for the animals. That's one less person who can show up and do something, take action. So it's kind of, like they always say, right? It goes back to when you're on a plane, you put your gas, oh my gosh, you put your oxygen mask on first so that you can breathe and function to take care of the people around you. And it's the same thing here. If we are burning out, if we are just living in constant pain and sadness, eventually that's going to tank us. And then we can't show up. We can't help. We can't advocate. We can't volunteer. It gets in the way. So, what do we do? So, my process, and it has evolved and developed, and it will change, and yours will too. You have to try things, and then if it helps, you keep doing it, and if it doesn't, you don't. Oh, that's a good one, Evan. So Evan would like to know, what are the best ways to practice self-care when we're faced with animal abuse in film, in real life, in our careers? For me, it's rough. I hear you. It is rough. Absolutely. So one of the suggestions in, I would say, take a break where you can. So like social media is a big one, right? It's important for videos and footage to be shared about the way the animals are treated, and that abuse needs to be put out there. People need to understand. However, maybe you don't always have to watch every video. I struggle with that too, because I feel like I need to bear witness. These animals are suffering, and who am I to turn away? Why would I turn away? Sometimes I think we have to, and it doesn't, or maybe we put it off. Maybe we're really struggling today. Today's not the day to watch the video. I mean, you'll be able to find it again, and you can watch it later. But at the same time too, it's hard, right? Because if we think about the pain and the suffering, do we need to see every video that's out there when we're already here? So if you're already vegan, I think it's important that we're always on top of what's happening. We need to, be reading the articles about changes that are being made, and we need to be aware of what companies are doing and when companies are exposed what has happened. But maybe we don't always watch the video. Maybe we can kind of read the article about it, have a conversation with someone else who's kind of in the same situation we are. Maybe they've already seen it. Figure that out, support each other. Maybe, if you have a group where you're constantly seeing these things and then you talk about it, maybe you don't all watch all of the things. You have to kind of go with, how are you feeling today? What do you need today? So in our careers, that's tough, right? So, if you are, let's say, a chef, and you got a job at a restaurant that isn't all vegan, sometimes we have to have jobs where that are not in complete alignment with our veganism. So how do we handle that? Being a chef in a non-vegan restaurant when you're a vegan is hard. Like sometimes it's hard just to sit and eat dinner with people who are eating animal products. So to prepare that, yikes, right? But a way that we can think about that, if that's the situation that we're in, maybe we start to talk to, the restaurant owner, the general manager, and we talk about adding more vegan options. Maybe this is a restaurant that doesn't really have staff who are knowledgeable that way. And now you come in and you're able to hopefully work with the restaurant to add more options there. How amazing is that? You think about each restaurant, the more vegan options they have, it gives vegans more places to go when we're with people who are not vegan, but it also shows the restaurant industry, the food industry, that this stuff is in demand. People want this. We've put vegan options on a menu of a restaurant that's not a vegan restaurant, and people are ordering it. we have to look at where we can make small changes. These are tiny victories. And I know that if you think about the animals who are still in the system, that are still being, killed for food, it doesn't help them. And I get that. And it's hard. That's why this is so hard. But the more we can make these changes that almost are, maybe people don't even notice them, like someone who's not vegan goes to a restaurant and they see on a menu something that sounds amazing and it's vegan and they order it and they're like, wow, that's so great. It's the best thing I've ever had here. This is where we make those small changes. This is how we can take care of ourselves in those situations. So my process every day, I have a morning ritual, I guess you can call it. And I start off by doing yoga. And I roll out of bed, I brush my teeth, and I get right on, like I sleep in my yoga pants. I brush my teeth and I get right on the mat. And for me, yoga is not about, I don't do hot yoga or any of those. For me, yoga is not about like, am I going to get a tight butt and will I have abs one day? For me, yoga is connecting my mind and my body so that I can be aware and I can take care of myself. It helps me get emotions out, all the twists and the folds, and it just really taking time for myself. And that's the other thing too, right? You get on the mat, you can be uninterrupted for 10 minutes or however long you're going to do it, and you know that every single day you've taken this time for you. That is self-care. That builds us up. It takes away stress. It's so important that we are able to do that for ourselves so that when we are faced with these situations, like Evan mentioned, that we have more strength that way and it doesn't completely drain us and beat us down. After I'm done with yoga, I do journaling. And I journal about my yoga practice a little bit. And then I kind of just journal about whatever is coming up. And, thoughts I'm having, feelings. Maybe I read an article, maybe I saw a video, maybe something happened in my life or, things, whatever it is, I'll journal about all of it. And what that does is it gives me the opportunity to put it all out so I can let it go. And I handwrite. I don't, I'm very old school that way, but there's also tons of things that say, like when you're physically writing things out, that is making a different connection than typing in a journal on your computer. So if you can do that, journal about the painful things, journal about the good things, journal about all the stuff, the stress, the stuff that sucks, the stuff that's great. Put it all down. And whether or not you ever go back and look at it again doesn't matter, because it's about taking this time to center yourself and be with yourself and just let what is going to come. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's kind of always been my approach to yoga, and it definitely, the writing as well, it is very cathartic and freeing. So freeing. I've also been meditating for years now. I actually meditated every single day for a year back in, I want to say 2018, and it was incredible. And I'm not as regimented. The yoga is really my daily practice, but yoga is the daily practice, but meditation is there. And I try to meditate every day as well, because meditation also allows me to center. And for anyone who is hearing this and going, I can't meditate, too many thoughts are happening, I just can't do it. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. Brains think. Thoughts are everywhere. We have like a gazillion thoughts. Don't quote me on that. That's not a real statistic. But we have like a gazillion thoughts every single day. Why, if you're sitting on a special cushion or in a special, sitting position, why would it be any different? It's not. So the point is to bring ourselves back to focus. So if you sit for 15 minutes, And you have to fight off thoughts the whole time. And we're not fighting them. We kind of just let them be. A thought comes, oh, got to pick up the kids from school. Well, let it go. You don't have to do that right now. Another thought comes, oh, I'm behind on that project at work. You got to let that go too. Every time you think of, every time a thought comes in, oh, I had to fight with my spouse last night. I got to fix that. Not right now. When we can come back and center, the more we do that when we're on the cushion or in the chair, wherever it is you choose to meditate, the easier it is to do that when we're faced with really difficult things out in the world. So when you have a moment where you're face to face with, an awful video or something happening at work that, where animals are being abused, you have the ability to come back in, center yourself, and then approach it in a different way. And maybe it's then you can find a way that's less painful, less combative. You can find a different way forward. And that, I think, is so significant. All right. Oh, thank you, Evan. I hope so too. Maybe we can send it off. Hey, watch this video. It is the first thing we have to do, right? Is to work on ourselves. We know that at the end of the day, we can't change anyone else. We can't make anyone do anything. Not our kids, not our partners, not our bosses, not the people who report to us. Nothing. Like, people are going to do what they're going to do. So we can only control ourselves. So if we can take the time, even if it's 5 minutes, we're in a culture right now where everything is like, it's almost like people wear, I'm so busy, as a badge of honor. Oh, if they could just make more hours in the day, like, oh, then I could get everything done. Like, okay, that's not cool. That's not okay. We're not made to function that way. And it's unfortunate because that is the culture, and people feel like, oh, this is the way I'm supposed to be. I should tell everyone how busy I am. No. If you're telling me that you're so busy you can't do this, it better be because you are busy taking care of yourself, doing things to bring yourself joy, so that when you are working on the things that are important, the things that are hard, that you are there and you are able to handle it. That's my thought there. So Diane meditates every day. Diane, that's awesome. She says anywhere from 15 minutes to sometimes an hour or more. Oh, that's so great. I heard a quote once. I wish I could remember who said it. And if anyone knows, please let me know. But it was, you should meditate every day for 30 minutes. And if you don't have 30 minutes to meditate that day, you should meditate for an hour. And I thought that was just so great, because it's so true when we're like, oh, I can't do it. I don't have time. And sometimes, like, I'll notice that when I sit on the cushion or when I get on the mat, the first thought I have is, how long is this? Especially with the videos, the yoga videos. And they're like, oh, how long is today's video? And at first I'll have the thought, do I have time for this? Like, I have to get to shower. I have to log on to work. I have to do all these things. And as soon as I have that thought, I'm like, nope, this is my time. This is how I function for the rest of the day. So let it go. Let that thought just be gone. And if it comes back, that's okay. And just breathe. Focus on our breath, and marry it to the movement wherever we can. And when we're on the cushion, if it helps to focus on a sound while you breathe, or the cool air going in your nose and the warm air coming out of your nose as you're breathing, find something within you, the sound of your breath, maybe even, and just go back, keep going back. I also wanted to say about social media. We're also very much tied up in a culture that is obsessed with what's online. Who's doing what? What's happening now? What did I miss? I can't miss anything. My husband has a really great process that he's following now, where when he feels like social media is too much, either because there are tons of videos coming up of, animal abuse, or things that way, or it's just like a lot of stuff in the news is very triggering, as we saw over the last few years. It was like constant. You get on social media, and it's just a barrage of all things that are bad, and like you had to really dig for the good stuff. So what he does now is that when he feels that happening, he'll delete the apps just for off his phone, just for a couple days. He doesn't, and you can always go onto your computer, right? But that takes more effort. But he'll delete the apps from his phone for a couple of days, and then that will allow him, when he has that instinct, because we're now programmed, right, to just pick up the phone, start scrolling. What's going on in the world now? And he'll pick up his phone and he'll remember, oh right, I deleted that app, and then he has to make the decision: do I need to download this app again? And sometimes he will. I'm really curious about such and such, and he'll do it. But most of the time, it'll buy him like another day or two without social media in his life. And you know what? He's not complaining about that. He's happier when he's not constantly on social media. And again, like it's a really important way for us to get our message out, to share things that are happening, both within animal agriculture and how veganism is exploding and expanding and all of the options that we have. I love sharing about like a new vegan product that I've tried, or a vegan restaurant that I've been able to get takeout or go to. I love that. It makes me so happy. Um, but like, do I need to be on there all day? Yes. Doom scrolling. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. That is an amazing way to describe how so many of us use social media. I mean, how many of us will pick up the phone, start scrolling, and like however long goes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe more goes by, and you start like, what am I even doing? How long have I been here? What is happening? By the way, I use my hand as the phone, but I realized you guys couldn't see me doing that. So if it looked weird, that's what was happening there. Well, that's amazing. I love it. Doom scrolling. That is perfect. Because like really, at the end of the day, more often than not, it's like it's not stuff that's filling us. It's draining us. Even last year we lost our eldest cat, and I was struggling, and I still have days where it's really, really hard. So I joined a Facebook group about that. And I was able to post about Cookie and have conversations with people who were feeling the same way as me, who had just lost, their baby. And we were able to have these really great, back and forth. And now, like, I don't go to that group very often, but let me tell you, so often when I open Facebook, that's the group that's like at the top. It's the first story I see, and it's always heartbreaking. And people were there for me, so I feel like, oh, I should be there for people. But again, like I said earlier, like, we have to know how we are that day, and we really have to check in with ourselves. Is today the day where I can be the best person to help someone as someone has helped me? Or is this just going to send me into a spiral of sadness? So often, sometimes I'll see that or some other things pop up when I open social media, and I'll immediately close it. And I know this is not the time, and I put it away. And I used to be really bad with that. Like I said earlier, I'm like, I have to bear witness. I have to be here and support. But it was, burning me out. And then I wouldn't be able to show up and do stuff like this, or even have regular conversations, in day to day life, where I can show people how beautiful a vegan life is. How do you get that across when you're feeling just like sad, right? And of course that's part of it, but we have to find a way to really take care of ourselves. Yeah, that's great, Evan. Take that break. And yeah, that's the other thing. So I think about I want to be off social media completely sometimes. Some days I'm like, I'm just deleting all of them. I don't care. I'll figure out another way. But so much of our business is done that way. How do we share the events that we're doing? How do we talk about the new class we're offering, whatever it is? We have to put that out there. People, that's where people go to look for these things. I know websites still exist, but a lot of people are going right to the social media because that's where they already are, because they're doom scrolling. So, but yes, take a step back. Absolutely, Evan. And Diane. Yes, that's amazing. Yes. How'd I forget that? Turn off the notifications. You should be in control. You go on and you look at the things that you're looking for. Don't let your phone be like, ding, somebody liked this, ding, somebody posted something, because and now that's pulling you in. And then, yeah, if you can schedule the time, maybe, we have to post about our business. So we say, okay, 5 o'clock every day, I'll spend this much time posting about my business, commenting on other people's things, and then I'm done. Maybe that works for you. It's a way to kind of rein that in and not let it, you know, deplete us, right? But that's awesome to turn off notifications. Absolutely. And then, I would say that when you can, go visit a sanctuary. And it doesn't have, there are sanctuaries popping up all over, right? And you can visit and you can see animals that have been through some stuff. We know I'm not trying to make light of it. We just don't need to get into this, right? Go visit a farm sanctuary and see the animals just being in their, I like to say, cowness, chickenness, pigness. They're like being themselves in a safe place. And it allows you to connect, and maybe it's even a reminder of why we do what we do. When we look into their little sweet faces, or their big sweet faces, like, cows are huge, right? We look into their sweet faces and it fills us in a way that scrolling social media and sharing sad stories can't. So we, just when sanctuaries start opening up again, look for the ones around you. If you're traveling, finally getting to go on a vacation, because it's been a year and a half since we've been able to go anywhere, maybe check and see if there's a sanctuary nearby. Or certainly, be careful. If you have questions or suggestions, you can certainly reach out to us, to me, or virtual Veg Fest, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of suggestions of really great sanctuaries that you can visit. And just visit with them, be with those animals. And it really does. Anytime I've only been to a couple, but anytime I've been to the farm sanctuaries, it really just, it's just something so fulfilling. That's really it. Like, my heart, just talking about it right now is filling my heart with so much love. So to be there and be with them, the animals. And, that's another place where you can take people who are not vegan, who are in your life and maybe have questions, or, they're kind of curious, because a lot of the tours, when you're at a farm sanctuary, they give you the story. And it's not typically, I found they're not super graphic or anything, but they also don't shy away from the fact that, like, yes, this cow was destined to be veal, came from the dairy industry, this is what they do, this is how that process works, meet this cow. And now they have not just a face, and my God, could I get lost in the eyes of a cow? They're so brown and so beautiful. But so not only are they able to see and be with these gentle animals, and they all have names. So now there's like a name attached to it. So that's another way too, when we're trying to advocate, bring people who are willing to go to places like farm sanctuaries, and they can make that connection themselves. We don't always have to see the violence. We know it's happening. We can talk about it. When we can see them as individuals who are capable of living happy lives, and we see cows play with balls. They look like puppies, giant puppies, like running around and chasing a ball. And it's amazing. So for someone who's kind of on the fence or curious, that's a great way to make a connection without bringing the pain in. They'll learn about that. We all do. We can't escape it. But it's important to look at the good stuff too. Thank you, Evan. Yeah, boundaries are so important, not just in this part, in every aspect of our lives. If we can't say no when we really need to say no, we're really putting our mental health and our physical health at such risk. Sometimes we've just got to back off. We've got to say, not today. And that is okay. Absolutely. Oh, cool. So Triangle Veg Fest is part of a main event by Cotton Branch. Great opportunity to visit and support a great sanctuary in South Carolina. So for anyone in South Carolina or planning to visit, if you could just let us know when that is, that would be awesome too. Thank you. And then, I also, sometimes you just got to take a bath. If you have a tub in your house, please don't forget that you have a tub in your house or in your apartment or, where you're living. If you can take a bath, and it doesn't have to be fancy, you don't have to go to Lush and buy the $10 vegan bath bombs. I mean, you can if you want to, if that's within your budget. You can also get, Epsom salts from like the pharmacy and add those. July 25th. Awesome. Thank you so much. So South Carolina, with Triangle Veg Fest by Cotton Branch. Got it. And here's the website, themainevent.org. Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so jealous. I can't wait to see pictures. There better be pictures. But definitely take a bath. And you know what? If you can't take a bath, if all you have is a shower is a great place to decompress too. If you can just kind of let the water flow, and as it does, you just imagine the water just washing off whatever it is that's getting to you that day. Even if it's, for you're showering first thing in the morning, trust me, there's stuff from last night or the day before that you can wash off. And so you can just like, you don't need anything fancy. Just take a minute and just let it just stand in the shower and let that hot water just run over you and let it go. And when you step out, you have to face the rest of your day, you're in a much better place. So does anyone have any thoughts about your own self-care? You are free to tell me what do you do? What's your favorite way to take care of yourself when things are getting tough? Or how do you keep a process in place in order to kind of have this kind of set, what's the word I'm looking for? Like for me, it's the yoga. Like I said, I sleep in my yoga clothes. I roll it, and they're like not anything fancy. They're just like tight pants and a t-shirt, and, because I need to be able to move and be flexible. But I sleep in them. I roll out of bed. I brush my teeth, and I get on the mat. And there's nothing from the bed to the mat that gets in the way. So what do you do to set up your day to help you be able to say no, to help you take care of yourself? Because again, so many of us in the vegan community we're caretakers, right? We're doing what we do because we believe in the potential, the possibility of a better world. And so we feel this responsibility to always be contributing to that. Let's always put out something else. Let's always work on this. Let's always look at that so that we can, we're always contributing to that. But we got to take care of ourselves first. Oh, very nice. What kind of smoothie? You got a suggestion? I'm not a smoothie gal, but if anybody else is looking for smoothies, my husband's a fan of smoothies, so whatever you suggest, I'll let him know. And yeah, exercising daily is you gotta get stuff out, right? And you're building strength and you're taking care of yourself. So it's not just the mental stuff. And exercise is amazing for depression and anxiety. And I'm not a doctor. It's just you can read that anywhere. Um, Everyone suggests exercising, moving your body. Our bodies are made to move. Humans are made to do that. So whatever way you can, what you like best, go ahead and start moving. It helps. It really does. Let's see, Evan. Music. Yes. I love music. My husband's a musician, so sometimes I just listen to him play. Sometimes we will put on something. Sometimes I just put the headphones in and zone out for a little bit and just listen to my favorite stuff. Um, yeah, followed by some silence. Yeah, just try to block out everything. And are you like visualizing how your day can go? Is that's really powerful too, when you can really sit back in that moment and say, like, this is how my day is going to go, and be open to that or better. That's always my thing. When I'm thinking about the future, what I want, what I'm waiting for, it's always like this for the greatest good of all or better. Because you never know. Maybe we're not asking for enough or the right thing. But it can be really hard to do that, Evan. You are absolutely right. And it just takes practice. And it also takes being open to the fact that not every day is the same. You can meditate every day, and some days you're going to feel like, I was so focused. I was in it. I feel good. I'm like ready. The day's got nothing on me. And then other times you're going to feel like, I got nothing out of that. What a waste of time. And that's okay. That's just how it is. And if we're open to that and we're flexible, that makes a huge difference. Oh, that's a good smoothie, Helene. All right. Mango, cherry, and banana. Can you have smoothies as snacks? I might have a snack. I might have that as a snack, but mango, cherry, banana. I'll let my husband know. He will love that. Thank you for that suggestion. All right. And Diane. So Diane meditates in the morning before she gets up, and at night, wow, before you go to bed, twice in one day. That is so awesome. I do that sometimes. I'm not always successful. Lavender, Epsom salts, and meditation. That just sounds so beautiful. Oh, what a lovely way to start and end your day. And then lavender makes me feel so good. Love it. All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much for contributing, for the back and forth, for listening, for being here. I am always so honored every Monday to come here and to share my thoughts and my life with you and to hear from you. And I love it. And I'm humbled and honored all the time. So thank you for being here. And I'll be back next Monday and we'll talk about something else. And if you love this talk and you want to share it, please do share the link far and wide. Let everyone know. You can follow me at Did You Bring the Hummus, both on Facebook and Instagram, of course, when you're not taking a break from it. And you can catch me here every Monday, virtual Veg Fest Live for Fireside Chats with Kimberly, even though we're not Fireside, and special treats this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I'll be back here with Helene, and we're going to have a conversation. I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but it's going to be awesome. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you hopefully Thursday and then again on Monday. I love you. Good night.